Good afternoon, everybody. Dr. Jared here. I want to talk to you about a very common topic related to children, which is ear infections. Some of you may not know that the number one or number two reason, depending on the year, that parents bring their symptomatic children to a chiropractor is ear infections. For many years, it was the number one reason. Currently, it goes between number one and number two, also related to acid reflux or stomach bloating. But ear infections are so common in this country that 9 out of 10 children will get put on an antibiotic in their first year of life. A huge percentage of children end up on multiple antibiotics over the course of time. And unfortunately, way too many end up with a surgical procedure called putting tubes in your ears, all related to chronic ear infection, scar tissue, and the things that go with it. Now, while ear infections are very common, they're absolutely not normal. So why in the heck would you bring a child to a chiropractor for an ear infection? So many people still think of chiropractic as neck and back pain, maybe headaches. But the reality is that when a child is born, they go through the birth canal, or they're pulled out via C-section or suction or forceps or whatever it is. And the most commonly misaligned area of the spine in a child is right here. It's right in the very top of the neck, because while we're meant to be compressed, we have all the discs and the spine to be compressed. We're not meant to be pulled. Humans aren't built to be pulled. And there's 50 avenues we could talk about and why there are problems with our current way that we deliver birth children. But ultimately, to keep this short and simple and related to ear infections, whether it's the birth process, whether it's learning to hold their head up, whether it's slips and falls when they're learning to crawl or learning to roll over or walk, or they roll off the couch or whatever it might be, the upper part of the neck, the neurology right there is what controls fluid balance between the ears and the sinuses. And so if your child gets that misaligned, their body's going to be less able to move the fluid. The stagnant fluid allows for a greater risk of infection, and therefore the child is more likely to develop ear infections. Unfortunately, while most ear infections are viral, so again, 9 out of 10 ear infections are viral, most visits to the medical doctor still lead to an antibiotic. And if you read the medical literature, there are many studies that point out that that's more to calm mom or dad down than it is to actually help the child. With or without an antibiotic, the average amount of time it takes for an ear infection to go away is 7 to 10 days. And I can understand it. I've seen it. I've seen nieces and nephews of mine just have that super bright red ear and extreme pain. And I mean, as parents, I mean, who doesn't want to help their child feel better? And it can feel so hopeless to, not have an answer. But unfortunately, the answer that's so often given, that antibiotic, not only makes the child more prone to more ear infections by weakening the immune system, it also has side effects that are linked to the younger you do it, having more allergy and asthma risk, having more digestive problems over time. There's huge issues with taking antibiotics for ear infections, yet it's the most common treatment for something that it doesn't even necessarily shorten the length of time that they'll have it 9 out of 10 times. And if you have it enough, or you get enough scar tissue or lack of healing, the only other answer is to do surgery. And who wants to have their kid have surgery? But here's a cool thing. Chiropractic is massively effective at reducing ear infections and reducing prevalence of ear infections. And while there's multiple studies that show that children under chiropractic care, instead of having a 9 out of 10 chance of being put on an antibiotic for an ear infection, the statistics show that children under regular chiropractic care have a 1 in 10 chance. So literally a complete reversal. It's not saying it's perfect, but it's dramatically better. Additionally, I did a little bit of a survey around our clinic, and from my staff, we've had 20 children over the last 11 years as a staff. They add up to almost 100 years of life. And of those 20 children, 0 have needed an antibiotic for an ear infection. So either I have the luckiest team and families in the whole world, or chiropractic must work really well for helping kids with ear infections. And the reason I want to talk about that online today is not to talk about how healthy this group is, but so many people tell me over the years, like, I wish I would have known that for my child when they were young. And so I would just implore you to pass this along and give people a possible answer that they might just not know about. But chiropractic is safe, it's effective, and it's healthy for little kids. It's both good for wellness and prevention, but it's also fantastic for your infections. Hope you have a blessed day. Bye.